Hello there everybody, this is Lara from Pure Elliott Wave with a quick update for Bitcoin, Ethereum and XRP. And they're really not doing much, so this update's going to be super quick. Don't forget to like, subscribe and make a comment because all of your engagement helps my YouTube channel grow. For Bitcoin, the target for my inverted head and shoulders pattern's been met. I'm probably just going to take that off now. Here's a trend channel. I've drawn it in red. It contains a bearish movement. Price found resistance, pullback, breakthrough. A nice clean close above that resistance line. A little bit of a pullback, fell short of support, a bounce and a pullback to test support almost perfectly on that line on this session, 11th of October. Now it's moving up and away and making higher highs. This downward movement has a series of lower lows and lower highs. The last higher high within it was the 29th of August at 28,145, that was breached back here, and now off the low of the 11th of September we have a series of higher lows and higher highs, the basic definition of an upward trend. ADX, it has caught up now, telling us there's an upward trend. We have the basic definition of an upward trend. Let's assume this trend remains the same until proven otherwise. Price won't move in a straight line. Expect consolidations and pullbacks at identified resistance along the way up. We're getting some now, pretty strong resistance just below 29,000. Yesterday it wasn't able to close above that resistance. Let's see how today unfolds, but so far at 1:30 in the afternoon it's not looking good. It's probably just got a little bit more work to do, a little bit of consolidation here before it can finally break through. If price can close above resistance at 29,000, look out for possibly a backtest of support at that same level before we see a move up and away to next resistance about 31,000. A couple of days ago we saw a very strong upward session from Bitcoin, which has extremely strong volume. This volume is extremely bullish and supports the upward trend very nicely. So far, an inside day or a very small range day may close as a little doji with weaker volume. It's just a pause after that strong upward movement, and that's normal behavior. ADX is telling us there's an upward trend. There's a ways to go before ADX gets extreme and before RSI reaches overbought and before money flow reaches overbought. So there's a very long way to go before this trend reaches danger territory. It's a trend in a very early stage. This is an extremely bullish chart for Bitcoin. My Elliott Wave count really quickly today, just the daily chart for Ethereum. I am expecting a third wave at minor degree, within intermediate, within primary, within cycle degree. So a third wave at 4 large degrees is in its very early days. This is an extremely bullish Elliott Wave count for Ethereum. Very quickly, technicals for Ethereum. The last session, a sideways inside day, finding support still at 1550. Price was unable to break above resistance on the 16th of October at 1650. Consolidation, I expect overall upward movement from Ethereum is most likely. At the low here now for the 12th of October, that may be the final low. I did expect the 11th of September might be it, but we've got a lower low on a closing basis and on a low. But now we have triple bullish divergence between price and RSI after RSI reached fairly oversold and ADX indicated an extreme downward trend. Given those circumstances, it is increasingly likely that this low of 12th of October is going to be sustained for a long time. If we do see it broken by another lower low, we'll be looking for further bullish divergence. That certainly could happen. These lows are a process. We could have quadruple bullish divergence develop before the low is finally found. But with triple bullish divergence here, the probability is pretty high that that low is going to be sustained. So right now, looking for support at 1550. I'm looking for Ethereum now to break above resistance at 1650. It's finding resistance there. I need to see it break above that. If it can, next resistance 1716. Within this downward movement, the series of lower highs and lower lows would be broken with a new high above 1756.57. Volume is pushing price strongly higher up off the low on October. For Ethereum, ADX tells us there's no clear trend. The positive DX line has just crossed above the negative. There is a potential trend change to up, but we need to see the black ADX line have a positive slope in order for an upward trend to be indicated. It is a lagging indicator. If we have got a low just a few days ago, this is based on a 14-day average. It's going to take 2 or 3 weeks or maybe even more depending on consolidations to catch up if there has been a trend change. With no clear trend, reverting to a model of stochastics plus support and resistance tells us stochastics reached oversold. It's now a neutral, moving higher. Expect stochastics to continue higher till it reaches overbought and price reaches resistance at the same time. Someone made a comment, what about the gigantic head and shoulders on the daily chart for XRP? They didn't leave a link. If people are going to want me to make a comment on your technical analysis, you really need to leave a link to a chart. You need to be accurate and specific for me to understand your meaning. Random comments with very little specificity is just really not helpful to anyone. Anyway, looking at possibly this could be a head and shoulders pattern for XRP. I want to go over some of the problems that I see online with people trying to consider head and shoulders patterns. They are one of the most reliable classic technical patterns, but I see them so often inaccurately identified and used, and this is what I mean. We could have a head here, we could have a left-hand shoulder here. Now, so far so good, but the right-hand shoulder, well, it's kind of more like a double shoulder now, really, isn't it? You really want a nice, clean pattern for confidence in the outcome of a head and shoulders pattern. I'm going to say this is most likely the right-hand shoulder. So that's the first problem. It's okay to have a complicated head. It's not so okay to have complicated shoulders. It just makes the pattern messy and the outcome less likely. So what if this is the head? What if this is the right-hand shoulder rather than this? It's important because it's going to tell you how to draw your neckline. Now I'm figuring, anatomically this would be correct, right? What's between the head and the shoulder would be the armpit. So I'm looking at the lowest low here between the left-hand shoulder and the head. And that would be this candlestick here, 30th of June. Between the head and the right-hand shoulder would be this candlestick here, 17th of August. You have to draw your neckline accurately. It has to be from one armpit to the other. You cannot just do this, a random, this is not going to work. Okay, now the reason why it's so important to get your neckline accurate, really accurate, is you need to use it to calculate at what point price is broken out. So this is a regular head and shoulders, not inverted, so we would need to see a close below the neckline on a downward session. Downward movement doesn't have to have push from volume for confidence. Upward movement for an inverted head and shoulders must have push from volume in order to have confidence in the breakout. If price could close below this neckline, then we could calculate a target from the breakout point using the distance between the head and the armpit before the right-hand shoulder. So that would be how we calculate our target. Now the problem with apart from the messy right-hand shoulder, the problem right here is this is actually quite a long way away, and that's why you need to draw your neckline accurately. This breakout point would probably now be about 44 cents. We need to see price close below this neckline before we can have confidence in using a target from this head and shoulders pattern. So sure, you can identify it. Don't like the messy right-hand shoulder, but I wouldn't be counting on it being an accurate prediction of what price is going to do and using a target until we see the neckline broken, and then you can do that. Otherwise, it's probably not going to happen. And here ends the lesson on head and shoulders patterns. For XRP, it's still finding support at 0.4875, down from really strong resistance at 55 cents. A couple of days ago, Bitcoin had a good upward day, but 16th of October wasn't that great for XRP, but it did still move higher with a high low, and it did have a nice push from volume. Let's expect support at 0.4875 is most likely to hold, and volume has really good support for that last strong upward session. For XRP, ADX also is still declining, so there's no clear trend indicated. The positive DX line has just crossed above the negative. There's a potential trend change from down to up, but no clear trend yet indicated. With no clear trend, we revert to a model of stochastics with support and resistance. Stochastics reached oversold, price reached support. Stochastics is now moving up through neutral. Let's expect it to continue on higher until it reaches overbought and until price reaches resistance. Now that may be about 55 cents, but if price can close above that and stochastics is still not overbought, then it may be about 62 cents. That's it from me with your quick update for Bitcoin, Ethereum and XRP and a look at head and shoulders patterns. I hope everyone's having an awesome day.